Hey, what's up? It's Ike Paz, and today I have a very special guest. This is a guy who got me to start selling on Amazon KDP. He is a published author in both high content, mid content, and low content books. He's a composer and a developer. This guy is a jack of all trades, and I'm happy to have him here. Ken Bluttman, how you doing?
Great. Thanks for that great intro, Ike. Very excited to be on here with you. Quickly, for those watching, Ike and I have been working together for years now, and I really appreciate his support with my stuff and vice versa.
Yeah, like I said, he got me into KDP. Others have tried and failed, but he's a guy who really made it easy for me to come into KDP and actually help me create an extra passive income stream, so that it's a really easy way to do it. The way he taught me and the tools he's created to help me do this, it's really astonishing, and I'm very thankful to him. Thank you very much, Ken. Yeah, it's a truth. I know it sounds weird, but it's true. So I had my subscribers come in with some questions, and I'm going to ask you these questions if you don't mind. Speak as candid as possible, and we appreciate any information you can give us.
I'll answer whatever. Let's hear, because I love to hear what people want to know. So
beautiful. Thank you. Okay, so first off, some general questions. So for first-time viewers, what is KDP Publishing?
Well, KDP stands for Kindle Direct Publishing, but we probably know that. So in a bigger sense, it's self-publishing. This is a big change from traditional publishing, which is where you go to a publisher and you have editors and all that stuff. And getting books done with traditional publishing is a big chore and takes a lot of time. So KDP is a great platform Amazon put together for people like us to just get our books out there, get them on quickly, and get them for sale.
Beautiful. Well put. Okay. And how did you start with KDP Publishing? How did you come to learn about this?
I first started following it a bit in 2014. Around then, I started to hear about it, and I started looking for books to read on there as well. I was very curious. Up to then, I'd always gone to a bookstore to get a book. So I was fascinated, honestly. And I started with some fiction, which didn't go so well, but I tried. So I went through science fiction. I wrote a science fiction book, a couple of mysteries, and I got into the romance market, which just, wow, not my world. I tried. A lot of people were pushing romance around 2015, 2016, because there's a lot of money in it. If you can make it work, I could not make it work. So I bounced away from there. And then, another year or two later, I started to see the journals and this other stuff, and like, wow, there's a whole nother world, with it.
Yeah, there are many little worlds within KDP, like you pointed out. I had no idea. Actually, this is a good question, because I had no idea how you got started with KDP. I just saw you popping up on Facebook with puzzle this and crossword that. I'm like, what the hell is this guy doing? Is he selling printables? Yeah. Like, no, he's doing something completely different. But yeah, romance. Okay. I think we talked about this before in a past interview, you and I. But yeah, my friend who was taking books off of Gutenberg and publishing them on KDP, he's the one who first introduced me to this. To me, for some reason, it sounded complicated. Now, in retrospect, I'm like, oh my God, I was a fool. This is so easy. I mean, easier than other methods to earn online. Why should folks want to sell books on KDP? So people who are trying to create an income online, why should these folks want to start selling on KDP, in your opinion?
Well, there's a couple of reasons. One is it may just be for the joy of it. How many people go around wishing they were an author or a publisher, and yet along comes KDP and you can just become one, like by tomorrow. That's simple, as long as you have some guidance what to do. But probably the bigger reason, of course, is to make money. So KDP is a great way to earn money online. Once you get all the nuts and bolts together and you understand the process a bit, it's not that hard to just get some books up there and have them start selling. So it's a wonderful place for that.
To your point, it's not that hard. Once you understand how to whip a book up, a quality book, and you do teach how to do that. And once you understand how to upload it, then that's basically it. And and set your title, description, and cover to focus on your niche, then there you go. Okay, really cool. And you're also coming out with a new course targeted to newbies, and also this course has a software component to it. Can you tell us more about that a little bit?
Sure. This new course is called Your Publishing Biz, short for business. My other products up till now have always been centered around one piece of the business, puzzles or activity books or coloring books. So I realized there's something missing. There's no just one general, how do I get into this and start course, for a more beginner level. So that's what I started putting together a couple of months ago. And this is a lot of video training. I really go through every step that I could think of to put in a product like this. And the software component, as you asked, Ike, is for those who don't know, a lot of my other products are software based, but I wanted to put something in this one so people could at least start getting a first book out right away. So I did include some bits and pieces from my other products to put into this. So you can click a couple of buttons, have a book ready to go, and literally, get started immediately.
That's really cool. Yeah, I see you put a lot of time into your video training. You sectioned it off to all the parts that we have to get to first. And you also have an advanced portion that's not an upgrade. That advanced portion, correct me if I'm wrong, is part of the initial entry.
Yes, I broke the product up into 3 sections: beginners, basics, and advanced. So the way that works is beginners are really people who really know nothing at all, which is fine. That's not to say something's wrong there. That's why I created this product. So I go over really simple things like literally what is publishing almost, how is self-publishing different from traditional? What are the components of a book? Some people just think a book, but there's the cover, there's the inside, which is called the interior. The back cover is important, the spine. So, I really focus there on the very, very beginner things. And then the next section for basics is where I really cover pretty much everything, title, subtitle, book dimensions, paper size, pricing strategy, a whole bunch of stuff. So that's in there. And finally, the advanced, yes, that's included in the main product. The advanced has a little bit more. So in there, I cover advertising, how to get started with Amazon ads, and also where to find content. So whereas the portions up till then teach all about how to create a book, and you can use my software that's built in to get your first book going. But after that, you're going to want more content. So I show demonstrations of Etsy, Creative Fabrica, and BookBolt in there. They're great places to get content. And there's one more video about scaling your business, because eventually, not now, but at some point you'll say, okay, I've done a bunch. How do I grow further? So that's like tying up the product is at the end there, like where to go from here. How do I grow even further?
That's beautifully done. To me, it was like a bird's eye view, and with each passing video, you took a more nuanced understanding of what needs to be done within the KDP platform to actually earn online. And to me, I think this course is for 2 types of people: newbies who don't know anything about KDP and would want to earn online with KDP, and for people who've been doing KDP for a while but haven't earned online yet, because it's in the details. I think the devil's in the details, and you want to sometimes that you're missing that one component that you missed before or you've overlooked. I know I have. Like I used to neglect my back covers. I used to put very little thought into my descriptions, and then once I tweaked those, I was able to improve my conversion rate. So yeah, again, if you're a newbie, if you're listening, guys, if you're a newbie or someone who's been doing KDP for a while but hasn't profited with this method, then I highly urge you to jump into this course. It's very detailed. Thank you very much, Ken, for that.
You're welcome.
Okay. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that I've gotten some feedback from some people who've seen the course already, give me some feedback. And yeah, when I first put this together, I thought it was going to be pretty much for people who are just starting out and really know nothing at all. but I am getting the kind of feedback you were just getting at there about people who are already doing this business, but not really there yet. They're struggling with something. So, like you said, it might be your descriptions, it might be your keywords or something. And people are appreciating even those kind of videos. So even though they're got books out and they're doing this, they're liking some extra, help to understand more parts of it. Yeah.
Yes, I couldn't agree more with that. Definitely, guys, if you've been publishing for a while and nothing's happening, I urge you to jump on to this course. It's really well put together. And again, Ken does offer 2 pieces of software there to help you out produce your first book real quick. Quality stuff, by the way.
Thanks.
Yeah, I think so. Do you recommend this? I'm sorry, I really want to get to these questions because my subscribers, they put them together, and I find sometimes that there's a lot of repeat questions. So these are this is like an amalgamation of all the repeat questions, and I'm paraphrasing it. Yeah, putting it all together for you.
That's fine. I love answering questions.
Oh, good, very good. Because I got a lot of them for you.
All right. I just hope I got all the right answers, but let's see.
As best you can, my friend.
Right.
Do you recommend one author name or several author names?
Several, or at least a few. So here's the reason behind that. It really depends on what you're publishing, which niches, and I guess let me go with that. So what I mean is you might have some puzzle books, you might have some journals, you might have some kids books. And the thing with those is it's different markets, different customers on Amazon. So if you put one pen name or your real name for all of those, it can be confusing for the customers looking for books. For example, you might have a parent come on looking for kids books, and they see books you've written for kids, and then they check you out, interested in what you have, and they see your adult books, and it might be confusing. I thought this was, a person making just kids books. So in a better situation with that would be a pen name for the kids books, a pen name for puzzle books, pen name for journals, something like that. So the only thing you got to watch out for, though, is if you have too many, you might get a little crazy, but there's certainly a few to maybe up to 10. Everybody's got a different number. It really depends on the niches.
Just to paraphrase, you're saying that we should create pen names based on the niche category.
Yeah, or you can have one pen name that's more than one niche, just as long as they blend together. That's what I'm talking about. Because, view this from the customer experience. You want repeat business. You want somebody who buys a kid book from your pen name and is happy to come back and look at what other books that pen name has. If all of a sudden they see some adult, and some adults can be not appropriate for kids, some adult books, you don't want to confuse that customer. They're coming back for more books, or a repeat customer. That's the best kind of customer. So let them just know that pen name is all about kids books in that example.
Okay, so pen names for the category. Okay, very cool. Thank you very much. What type of low content or mid content books sell best?
Yeah, I have to say puzzle books sell the best.
And puzzle books are mid content, folks. Puzzle books are more, well, in the minds of people, they're more difficult to create. They're not, because there's software out there like Ken's software to help you do that. But yes, they sell best. You get more repeat customers that way because, of course, you're providing entertainment. It's not like a journal or a calendar, something along those lines, where they just fill something out. It's kind of, they're basically outsourcing their memory, if that makes sense. But yeah, but with puzzle books, you're entertaining them. You're entertaining them. So it's a whole different thing.
Yeah, and they get hooked. You do a book of word search puzzles, you need another.
That's right.
People who do puzzles really love to do puzzles, and they need to get a lot of them. So it's a good thing. And also, as you know, mixing that with activities, then you have activity books, which are quite similar. It's puzzles and maybe some other things, and those sell great also.
That's right. What percentage of your books make regular sales?
Oh, it's not all of them for sure. I would say about 20% of my books are selling, daily or certainly weekly. The ones, of course, that sell the best are probably ones I'm running ads to. But the good thing is the more you have out there, the more it will sell. So in other words, if I've got a bunch of books that aren't really doing anything. But the fact that I went through the process to get them out there means I also brought along the ones that are selling. So you do have to put books out there. And there usually is some mix of what's going to sell and what isn't, but it's all part of the business.
That's right. And the beauty about this is you're creating content to sell. So if you're watching this video on YouTube right now, then I'm creating content to engage people. No one's buying this video, right? Or if I if I write out a post on Google, so I can get traffic, for example, that content is a means to an end, where the content you create for Amazon is to be sold, right? So it's really, really important to understand and distinguish that. How many pages should you? Okay, here's a good one. How many pages should your mid-content coloring books or puzzle books be?
Well, thanks, Ike, or thanks, subscriber, whoever you are. This is a really important question. I'm glad this came up, all right? Because there's a thought initially, the more pages, the better. Not true, all right? Because you got to think this isn't a book you read and just, okay, I'm reading it. This is a book you actually have to write in or do some activity with. So if it's really heavy and hard to open the book because it has, hundreds and hundreds of pages, people don't like that. So it might seem cool, on Amazon, here's a book with 500 pages, whatever. But when they get it and it arrives at their house and they open it up, oh God, how am I going to do this? So they might have to put it on a table. It's just more work for them. And in fact, it's better for you not to do it for another reason. Like, let's say you have 500 puzzles ready to go, split them into 2 books. There you go.
And you got a series there, Ken. Guys, on KDP, you can create series, an actual series. So let's say you're within one niche, I don't know, World War II word search, for example. You can have German, one for German, one for American, one for Japanese, for Japan, for example. So there you go. And of course, Amazon wants to support you there too, because you're creating more products. And they understand that a series has a higher chance of converting. Yeah,
series are really good, because you build in that recognition. So somebody likes one thing, they're going to see, oh, that looks just like, wait, that's number 2. Oh yeah, I got to get that. So yeah, that really works.
Cool. Yeah. What's your pricing strategy for mid-content books, puzzle books, coloring books, things along those lines? What's your pricing?
Generally, I look at the competition and price a little bit higher. Now, that also goes against some mentality that people have, because they think if I lower my price, people are more likely to buy it. Yeah, that might be so, but you're also giving up royalties that way. And, getting more sales is a really good feeling thing, but getting more money is better, I think. So I raise my prices a little bit over the competition, and there might be some range of the competition. But for example, if I do a puzzle book and everybody else's is $10.95, I might make mine $11.95.
Okay, so you're premium. That's really good advice.
And you can always adjust this later. These books, they're like living things. You can tweak and until you get it just right.
That's right. Really important point there, Ken, that you mentioned. I want to touch upon that a little bit. He's right. Everything except for the title. The title doesn't change.
No, that's true.
The title can't change that. No, but everything else. I mean, the cover and the description, the actual the guts of the book, you can change anytime you want, which is really important and really cool.
Yeah, just the title and I guess the pen name also. That's not going to change.
That's right. The pen name too. You cannot change.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Let me see. Do you use software to create these types of books?
Of course. Yeah, I brought a lot of software to this market. So yeah, I created, the 60-second story about puzzle book mastery. My first big product was I built it for myself, to put out puzzle books. I love to do puzzles, been doing them all my life. And, as we were talking about earlier, when I started to see the low content a few years ago, and then I saw puzzle books, I'm like, well, I can program something to make these. And that's what I did. And I started using my own software and I came out with some books and they were selling. And that led into me releasing it as a commercial product. So yeah, of course I use my own software, but that's not all. So, this might sound interesting coming from me, software, but I also do some things manually because There's some puzzles I haven't built into my software yet. I see things that are intriguing. So I'll put together some things manually.
Yeah, got people don't know. Maybe I don't know, but there's a lot to be said about puzzles. It's not just Sudoku and crossword. There's a plethora of different puzzle types out there. I've touched upon this in different videos and stuff, but yeah, there's a lot out there, a lot of fish, different types of fish to be fished, if that makes any sense. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is a good one from a subscriber. What's the secret sauce, Mr. Ken, Senor Ken, for KDP success? In your opinion, the secret sauce.
Mustard and all right, the secret sauce for success at KDP. There's a couple of things, of course. One is consistency and letting go of perfection. I mean, this applies to nearly any kind of business venture, but if you keep obsessing over this one book over and over and over till you get it perfect, but you know what? The opportunity you missed out on is having it for sale. So like we were just talking about a few minutes earlier, you can change things even after it's published. So the secret sauce is really about how you're going about your business. It's not really the software or something like that. It's really about us. Stay focused, let go of getting every little thing right, because you'll learn these things as you go. Your first few books may not be that good. It happens to all of us, but it's okay. You learn, and you can always unpublish a book or put in draft or something, and then people won't see it anymore, which is great. Yeah, so just work at your business skills, I guess, is the biggest secret sauce.
Well said. Put out content that you can sell, fix it later if need be. And yep. Like we said, everything but the title and your pen name can be edited, which is cool.
Yep.
Here's a good one. What's the longevity of the average title or the average book that you put out? I mean, sales wise.
Okay, so we're talking about coloring books, puzzle books like that. There's no limit. there's always people wanting to buy them. It's a matter of getting them in front of people, browsing on Amazon, but they're not, how can I put this? If somebody comes out with a new fiction book, a lot of people read it. It's got its height, it hits some bestseller status, whatever. And then it slows down because now anybody who's interested in that particular thing has read it and they're done, but something like coloring books and puzzle books and activities, there's always the need for more. And we talked about this a little earlier. So even though these 100 people bought this puzzle book, well, now this crowd's and it's just over and over and over again. So it's evergreen is what it is. That's the phrase.
I understand your point, but maybe I got this wrong, but I think the subscriber is talking about the sales history of a particular of one book, for example.
Okay.
No. I mean, yeah, it's my fault. Forgive me, Ken. I wasn't clear. I didn't word it correctly. But what do you think, in your experience, the history of sales for a book?
Yeah. Let's say, of course, there's a lot of variety in that, but let's take one puzzle or coloring book. So let's say you put it out 2-3 years ago and it's selling 100 to 200 copies a year. Do some math there. You're making hundreds into thousands of dollars on it, I guess, and it will continue to sell. Now, the reason it might slow down, and you might have seen a dip in your sales, is because some of the competition caught up with you. So mandalas were like that. They came out, then the whole market got flooded. But that has longevity. So, for this question, there's hard to have one answer, but, I would say if you have a book that's selling consistently 10, 20 copies a month, which is, or like about one a day. I mean, obviously you want more than that too, but if you're getting one a day for that, and that's month after month after month after year after year, this is a good thing. That book is, back to my word, evergreen. It's just going to keep selling.
On top of that,
I hope that answered the question.
No, you did a great job. And also think about the amount of time it takes to actually create a book. And, if you're having fun, even more, it's even better.
That is so much the beauty of this business. How long does it take to create these books? Take it from me. I'm a traditional writer. When I write a regular book, it could take me months, a puzzle book, activity book, hours. a day, you know?
Yes, and
Very
sometimes
different.
seconds, minutes. It's possible too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing, try to personalize or customize to your niche. That's helped me tremendously. Just a little piece of advice for people watching this. This is a good question. What KDP related Chrome extensions do you use, if any?
Yeah, don't ask me to get the name right, but it's by the Self-Publishing Titans, I think is the one. Keyword something or other. So I have that as far as Chrome extensions. I also have Publisher Rocket, which I could swear used to be a Chrome extension. I'm not sure. Now it's just a service, that I get. So I use those two. That's pretty much, well, no, there's one more I use. Is it called DS Quick View? I should pause you and go look at my computer screen, but no, I'm not going to do that. This is the one. This is really good. It's not all about, this one's not about researching keywords or anything like that. It's when you're on Amazon, it will show you details about every book you're looking at, the bestseller rank and a whole bunch of other information as you're scrolling through the search results. So you don't have to go into a particular product page to get more information. I find that one is really, really great. Very big help.
What's it called again? Sorry, Ken. Later on.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. We'll talk about that.
I'll have it in the description area, guys, if you need it. As for me, I have Titans, and I'm sure those guys know what they're talking about, and they set up their filter in a way that makes sense for them. But my best, just to put this out there, and it's important to understand, be as candid as possible. My best-selling book with organic free traffic is rated in the niche that it's in as a very, very poor, difficult niche to get into. So I don't understand. You got to take this with a grain of salt, guys. I mean, these tools are helpful. I'm not saying they're not. I'm not casting shade on this tool, but you got to think about, there are niches out there that these programs and software, some of them they can't pick up. Maybe it's an emerging niche, something along those lines. So please,
all these tools are great, but you can't rely on them 100%.
Thank you.
Right? They're great to give you some ideas and to maybe take your research a little further manually in the search bar on Amazon or whatever. So yeah, take them, as we said, with a grain of salt.
Thank you. Cool. Right. How do you set yourself apart from the competition? This is a good question because I didn't know, Ken, that you and I think it's wise. I do it as well. You set your pricing at a premium rate, even right out of the gate without reviews and whatnot. You set yourself up at a premium level. That being the case, it's really important. How do you set yourself apart from the competition, Ken?
Well, covers are the number one thing. I'm always going to go back to covers being the number one thing because that's the first thing people see. So already setting yourself apart from the competition is on that visual impact people get when they're searching on Amazon. You've got seconds to capture their eyeball, So cover absolutely is number one. Work on that cover. Don't kill yourself over it, but work on it or get someone else to do it for you. So that'd be the first thing. Past that, once they get into your product page, you just got to have some good stuff there. Good description. We talked about pricing. Like we said, I raised mine. Well, I wouldn't say raising's not the right word. I just put it at a higher price because I think people get that perceived value of, oh, this must be a really good book. So that's how I set myself apart.
Thank you. Cover is really important, guys. And that's the case with all these platforms. I don't care if it's an article on Google, which they use clickbait for good reason, or a pin on Pinterest, or a YouTube thumbnail. You'll see me with a goofy face a lot of times. It's to get that click, to hopefully to convert into a sale for Amazon KDP. Yes, covers. Thank you very much, Ken. And how many books? Oh, this is okay. Now, okay, I got about 5 more questions left, depending how you answer this. We're getting into the advanced portion. How many books do you advertise at a time, or do you advertise? I'm sorry. Do you advertise on Amazon KDP?
I do. I find that pretty necessary. Of course, I don't want to scare anybody away from doing any book publishing because you don't have to do it, but it certainly helps. It's advertising, right? So how many do I run at a time?
Yes, sir.
5, 10, 1, 3. I don't have a set number. I judge it more like every time I publish a book, right away I'm going to run ads to that because I want it to immediately get seen. So I do that. And then other ads I have that are more longer, that are ongoing. If I can tweak them, keep getting them, the return on investment better and better, I just keep them going. So at any time, I'd say I have a good 5 or 10,
5 or 10 at a time. And you're tweaking and refining, cutting away the keywords that do not convert for you. Okay, really important stuff. Remember, guys, you're paying for information. Okay, don't think, oh, I didn't make a sale. No, you're paying for that data. Think of yourself in the dark room with a flashlight. That ad is that flashlight. It's letting you know what's working, what's not. Really important.
This is so important, Mike, so important. And even if you put out a bad book, it's all helpful. Everything, bad reviews, ads that aren't working, they're all helping you, believe it or not, because they're letting you know what you're doing wrong. And that's the best way to know what's wrong, is the market is telling you. It's one thing if I tell you, or Ike tells you, or your friends or something, but it's quite different and it's quite real when it's the market telling you.
That's right.
That's your opportunity to improve what you're doing.
100%. I mean, I couldn't agree more. People ask me sometimes about like landing pages. Is this a good landing page? I'm like, I'm not your market, man. I'm not your market. I'm not the person looking for this product. You gotta put that animal in the wild and see if it flies. You know what I mean? It's really important.
Exactly.
Yeah. Very good. Yeah. How do you sell enough books to cover the advertising cost?
Well, that's the trick, right? All right. So there seems to be an unwritten effect going on with ads. And I think this is with other things in business. But so let's say I am running ads to 5 different books. Let's say 4 of those ads are, maybe they're breaking even. Maybe I'm getting a little bit of royalty. And then one day it dips, but that 5th book, it's carrying everything else with it. So, but you got to run all 5 to know, right? So that's also another thing. So when you get, I guess what I'm saying in a nutshell is one successful ad will carry probably all your losses and give you profit on top of that.
And just to be clear, you cover all of this in great detail within the Self-Publishing Biz course and software. Is that right?
Yes, that's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. How do you sell? Sorry. Is KDP a numbers game? Really important.
Oh yeah, it's a numbers game. The more books you have, the more you're going to sell.
Yeah, but that being said, Ken, there's a books you put out, and there's someone else out there, putting up 1,000 journals.
All right, you're right.
Okay,
let's go back.
So let's make some distinction here. Let's separate yourself.
You're right. There's people who put out these hundreds or thousands of books, and yeah, they make no money, probably, or very little, at least not much compared to all the work they're doing. So that they're trying to flood the market, or what's the expression? Throw something on the wall and hope it sticks. Whatever it is.
Spray and pray.
Yeah, well, you can proceed with that method, but what I'm saying is, quality books, put out more quality books, more will sell.
Oh, that's right. I just wanted to make that little separation. Ken's not one of those guys. Okay, Ken's not putting out 1,000 journals out there, blank pages with pretty covers. He's putting out puzzles and his own books, which is really cool stuff. That's why he's on here. Quality over quantity, but quantity is also, it's important too. You can't expect to put a month worth of work into one book and become a millionaire, or I don't know, quit your job.
You just keep plugging away. If you're making quality, if everything you're putting out there is quality, the quantity part will catch up, because here's another quality book, here's another quality book. So eventually you'll have a whole bunch of quality books. That's the best position you can put yourself in.
That's for everything I do online. Yes, definitely. That's the case. The more you put out quality, it's going to compound upon itself. Really important stuff to understand. Yeah. How do you do KDP keyword niche research? So we touched upon this earlier on some Chrome extensions you use, but we both agreed that this is not the end all be all. These tools that we use, you and I. Can you elaborate just a bit on how do you find those? Or maybe you do get inspired by other books you see? I don't know. What do you think, Ken? How do you go about finding?
It's all over the place. Like, I get inspired when I go out to the supermarket and I see the magazines that are for sale. I mean, seriously, I look at the puzzle magazines and the coloring, there's magazines full of coloring images, and I get inspired by those. So for example, I've seen, it's in the supermarket and I saw this kid's coloring magazine about sea life. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. So go on Amazon and see, yeah, there's some coloring books for sea life, and there was some room to get into that niche. So I didn't even do any research online, just research out there in the world. But online, use the search bar on Amazon. That's probably the basic, but I would say most important way to do this. So that's where you start typing something in. So in my example, I might put, something like sea life coloring books, and then more things show up underneath that, sea life coloring books for ages 6 to 8, for adults, for, people who like to go to aquariums, whatever it might be. and there you have your niches, and your keyword, long tail keywords to go for.
And also what I call, and this goes across different ways I earn, these backdoor keywords. So aquarium, think of fish, think of these keywords might be difficult to rank for, but here comes Ken. He sees this puzzle for sea life, which is in the same market, but it might not have that much competition. And you can get in that really crowded market that way, which is really cool. And don't run away from competition, guys. There's so much to be said about going into where it's crowded, where there's a lot of buzz, and finding pieces of pie for yourself that way, which I think is cool.
Exactly.
And this is a question I came up. I like to ask people that come on the show, where can I find you, Ken? Okay, so where can I find Ken?
Oh my God. More of all the other things I do. I'm a website developer. So I got all these websites all over the place, but I guess just go to kenbluttman.com. You can start with that. Also my company, and maybe you'll have links, I don't know, but I will. It's called Think Digital Publishing. So on there, I have all my products listed.
Beautiful.
Those 2 spots. Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay. Really cool. It's a sin you don't have your own YouTube channel, Ken.
Tell me about it, Ike. It's on my list of things to do. It's been on my list forever. But I see people like you, and I'm like intimidated. Like, wow, you put out so much content.
I'm a guppy in a giant ocean. Guys, Ken is a composer of music, a developer of software. He is a published author in big brand books like the Dummy series. He's all over the place. He does very well for himself doing this. I learned a lot from him. Like I said, he's the guy who got me into KDP where others have failed, because he made it so easy for me. Again, guys, if you are new at KDP Publishing, or you've been doing it for a while and you haven't gotten it, if it hasn't clicked for you yet, then I highly urge you to check out Ken's software and full video course, Self-Publishing Biz, B-I-Z. I will have the information down below. Of course, I will accompany the product with my custom bonuses I created for this course to help you earn online with Amazon KDP. Anything else you want to say, Mr. Ken Bluttman?
I just want to thank your subscribers for the questions. I'm excited if you get in and start using this product, because I love helping people. Add to my list. I'm a teacher. So.
Oh, that's another thing, guys, and that's a kind of prerequisite for me now. If I have a guest on, like Ken, they got to have amazing support. And Ken's Facebook group is popping. I mean, and I've seen it myself. He's done adjustments for his software based on user feedback. Ken's out there to help. He's not one of these guys that, here, buy this, and runs away. No. Ken's here helping people out, and I myself have profited with KDP using the products that he's created, and what he's taught me is invaluable. It's very valuable. And like I said, reach out, and he will help you on Facebook within his support group there. Really powerful stuff.
Thank you, Ike.
Thank you. I'm serious, man. It's you're doing good stuff, Mr. Bluttman, Senor. You're doing good stuff. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed this interview. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out the information I have down for you below, and see you next time. Be good, take care, and have a wonderful day.
Thanks, Ike, too.
Thank you. 1 second.